What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Viva Los Bills, Buffalo Will, joined by Bobby Blackjack right now, who's usually in the background, but Vinny's having some issues. But Vinny will be coming on with us and joining us shortly. What's going on, everybody? Not a very happy week for the Buffalo Bills this week because, as we all know, they got booted. Not very, it wasn't good times. We'll talk about the game, probably give Vinny a little more time. But as always, listen, when the Bills win, we usually pop a bottle of beer and have some fun. Guess what? They lost. What's up? It wasn't good times. We'll talk coming through, Bobby. Lower your audio, Bobby.
I know.
Back. Anyway, got a bottle of beer. We're still going to celebrate. Why? Because the Buffalo Bills had a very good season. Listen, they got to the AFC Championship team and lost. So I've got this bottle. It's called Le Chouf. It's French, okay? Le Chouf. What does it mean? It means screw you, Kansas City, for beating us.
Where do you find this beer? Is that those bougie places in Jersey City?
Bougie, man. I was out by the garden a long time ago, and my brother told me about it. We had a beer together, and he's like, try Le Chouf. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. And it's actually pretty good. And it's got a kick. And no, it doesn't mean screw you, Kansas City. That's just me. That's just me voicing my opinion. But anyway, we're going to get a little fancier. This is to the Buffalo Bills, to the Bills fans, to Viva Los Bills here on 95 Sports Network with Bobby and all that good stuff. I pour too much head. Not a good serve. Pretty much like the Bills didn't have a good game. Let's let that sit down for a little bit. Well, we go.
I'll tell you what, Buffalo. Well, let me give you my 2 cents before Cousin Vinny comes on.
Good.
I've been telling a few of my peeps about this week. What I see from right now, I'm not going to talk about the game at your guys' gig. But what I saw kind of reminds me of the 86 Giants. That's the one where 85, 86 Giants. That's the one where they got blown out by the Bears in that great defense in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Bears went on to win the Super Bowl. Then the next year, the Giants put it together and won the Super Bowl for the first time. So I kind of see you guys in that same vein where, you know what, I might sting a little bit, might hurt a little bit right now about this and everything, about losing, but your building blocks are there.
Yeah.
And you know what? You have something to look up to.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I think next year, if not the one after, I think you guys are going to be hopefully hoisting that trophy for the first time. I think you guys are on the way. And, there's building blocks,
Yes.
And you know what? And if KC does win this year for a back-to-back championship, there's no way in the hell they're winning 3 in a row.
I mean, it depends. I don't know who their free agents are or whatever else is coming up on, like, say, KC. But I think from watching this game on Sunday, we might have a rivalry building because they know they're going to be seeing each other hopefully a lot. The Bills have some free agent moves they got to make or re-signings. Hopefully they'll do that. But the game got chippy, and you could see it. We're going to get into the game, but to me, Kansas City played the game I said the Bills had to play. It was just they did everything I said the Bills needed to do, and the Bills didn't do that. And they're both young teams. Most of the core is young. So, like you said, they're going to be seeing each other. And hopefully the Bills keep getting better. I have mixed feelings about, 2 of our coaches coming back. But I guess, we'll talk about that. But being that we're still waiting for Vinny, what did you think about the Bucs-Tampa game? We could talk about that for some.
You know what? I actually worked I was working last Sunday, so I got somehow I got my time screwed up. I thought the Bills were playing first. Uh-huh. So around 3:00 when that kickoff came, and I realized, oh wow, I saw time yet. I was pretty happy about that. Mm-hmm. I just think that Tampa Bay and Tom Brady are very similar to like the Yankees, where they had up and down. 11-5 season. Don't get me wrong, that's a successful season.
Yeah.
But they had highs and they had lows. They lost to some bad teams. They beat some good teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. So, but when those lights came on in the playoffs, they ran right through the whole NFC, and I'm pretty excited. Hey, you know what? I'll mention this on my show later, but it's almost like Tom Brady is like American royalty. How can you root against Tom Brady?
Yep, there's many popping on. No, yeah, listen, a lot of people, and I see a lot of the Bills fans are saying, I'm not going to root for Tom Brady. And I don't have an issue with Tom Brady. And I've said this in the past. The one thing about New England, which I liked, I wasn't happy that they were kicking our butt the whole time, is that, I don't know, Vinny's frozen, it looks like. They were always humble. They never talked crap. They just went in, did their job on the field, and did what they had to do. It's not their fault. Nobody could have beat the Bill. Could have beat them in the AFC, really. It's like when the Bills back in the early 90s, it wasn't their fault they got to 4 Super Bowls. It's not their fault nobody could beat them. If you want to get there, beat them. And that's what I always say. So I always respect them. And honestly, I'm probably going to be rooting for Tampa Bay. But going to that game, Vinny, you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm saying no, I ain't rooting for Tampa Bay. The hell with Brady.
Well, that's fine. We'll get to that. But watching that Tampa Green Bay game, what drove me kind of crazy because everybody was blaming the coach for kicking field goals. Now, if you watch the game, they got down there. They went for a first down, second down, third down. They crapped the bed on each down. And at one point, he kept forcing the ball to Devontae Adams. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Lazard was cutting right across the goal line, wide open. And you try to force it to Adams still. Dude, that would have been a touchdown. Get the ball down there again. He goes first down, forced it, I believe, to Adams. Second down, he had a wide open lane to run towards the end zone. Not saying he was going to get it, but he would have had, 3-4 yards, and it would have been a shorter third and goal. Third down again. He had a wide open lane, could have ran it, possibly get in. He didn't. He tried to force it again, and then they kicked the field goal. So everybody's getting on top of the poor coach. And to me, in that instance, is like, dude, we went for a first, second, third down 2 times in a row down here, and he crapped the bed, but nobody's giving Rodgers giving him any of the blame, which to me is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. Well, guys, again, it's been a great year, and I meant what I said on Facebook. It's been, it's been a pleasure working with you guys, and we have a lot of work to do in the future. And one of the best things I did in 2020 was put you guys together, and the ride's just beginning.
Appreciate it, Bobby, man. Thanks for the opportunity. And
we're just starting, man. We're starting. Like I told Will, we'll start working on our other project in a few weeks. Let's watch the Super Bowl, have some fun, and we'll start working on our other projects soon too.
I don't know. I might skip the Super Bowl.
He can go to the beach. He can do that in Florida. We can't, Will. We're stuck in the damn cold weather here.
That's right. I'm going to watch it anyway, but
enjoy, guys.
All right, Bobby.
Thanks
for joining us. Holding it down for a little bit. All right, man. Hey, man. Welcome. Listen. Oh, yeah, you did trim it. I didn't even think about we were talking about it, and we see you trimmed it. Look at I cracked open my beer. We didn't win.
How do you want to do it?
We had a great season. So you got to celebrate that at least.
Absolutely. You could drink for me, man. I'm still
You're that sad?
Yeah, I'm still sad. I mean, I'm excited, I'm sad all at the same time because, now 2021 offseason officially started. So there's going to be some cuts, unfortunately. We'll get into that later on. But there's some guys that I know aren't going to be able to make the team. You know what I mean? And I don't think, Bean said he wasn't going to make any major drastic moves, not to expect any major drastic moves. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm kind of bummed out because I got an idea who might get cut and who might not be able to. Hopefully, if they restructure some contracts, we'll be able to keep them. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, no, we'll get to that. I guess we could start seeing great season, boys. Thanks, Kurt. Thank you. Great. Too bad we fell a little short this year. What is this? Another person put out here. I'm a Jet fan. I'm rooting for Brady. This is a historic look at QBs. QBs he would have been. Yeah, Brady is a beast. Can you guys still throw each other through the tables live here? Everybody kept asking me this if I was going to do it. And I was like, maybe if they win, I'll jump off my porch through a table with the Randy Macho Man Savage thing. But that didn't happen. So I don't know about me jumping through any tables, you know. So we'll see about that, Kurt. Man, I mean, so all right, real quick, we could get to this game. What did you think? I'm going to start sharing this out here so far. So come on.
Yeah, man. Man, I got so many things to talk about that, you know, I'm kind of like flustered. I'm still flustered because I thought the game plan would be focusing on Kelsey and Hill, and man, they just tore us up. I don't know why we were playing the way we were playing, the two safeties off. So, you know, the most of the yardage that they got were yak yardages, you know, yards after the catch. Mm-hmm. And Kelsey's just a baller, man. Hill is just, I couldn't believe how fast he was. You know, watching it, that dude was really, really fast, man. I mean, mm-hmm. Poyer came and almost caught him on one of the plays on a 70-yard run that he had. So it showed me that, you know, Poyer got some good speed that I didn't expect that he had. I knew he was quick, but not as fast. I mean, he caught Hill from behind, you know. So
yeah.
But there was a couple plays that I wish we could have gotten back. You know, Singletary with the drop, that was a game changer right there when he dropped that little flat pass. You know, I was excited. You know, with the muff punt. Mm-hmm. Where we pretty much set up a score. So we're up 9-0. I was like, man, we're in good shape. But I knew, you know, watching the Super Bowl last year and watching how the Chiefs play, that they strive on stuff like that. They, you know, they score in a hurry, you know, and they were just a better team, man. You know, there's some calls that were questionable too by McDermott that I feel that he should have went for it. You know, we went for it on different situations during the year. On fourth and short, and we were 4th and goal a couple times, and instead of the field goals, I think that should have been the time to kind of put it away. You know what I mean? And you know, you can't score 3 points against the Chiefs. It just ain't gonna happen.
I have a little mixed with that one because almost like the Rodgers and Tampa game, they were down there, they weren't getting no separation, dude. You know, like. Yeah. You brought up the Singletary thing. I was listening like on NFL Network, the radio, and one guy's like, "Why did they take out Singletary, dude? He dropped that pass, and it was that he went right into the doghouse." You know, it drives me crazy. I mean, at least they tried to run the ball, but that didn't happen. Yeah. So, like you said, like going to the 4th downs and kicking field goals, he said he didn't want to break the team's morale. At least you get some points. It was just like they were down there, nothing. They were down there and couldn't get nothing. You know, some of the play calling to me was rough there. But sorry for interrupting. Go ahead, keep going.
No. I mean, we weren't really aggressive on defensively. I mean, meaning that we didn't really pressure Mahomes. I thought with the injury that he had with his toe that we get a bit more pressure. On the other hand, they pressured the crap out of Josh. I mean, and Josh is, you know, he's matured a lot as a quarterback. But some of them plays, man, you know, when he got sacked, I mean, he had a loss of 15, 20 yards, man. Just throw the shit away. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cuss like that, but I'm sure you can imagine how it was game day. But, you know, I know he's trying to do a lot, but he needs to understand, you know, and it was another play that he threw it when he was going out of bounds that would have equaled another 6-yard loss. But, you know, when they reviewed the play, he was actually in the air when he tosses, so that helped us out a little bit. But I mean, his decision making, but he's gonna mature. You know, he's gonna mature. I think he's gonna be, you know, the look in his eyes after the game. Also, I know they're gonna come back stronger. It just depends on who's coming back. I hope the nucleus stays. I know Dable's gonna stay. We know Leslie Frazier's gonna stay.
How do you feel about that?
How
do you feel about those two?
You know. It's a mixed bag because on one hand they have let me read this real quick.
You guys were aggressive on 4th and down at Casey line. That's
what I just talked about.
Yeah,
that's what I just talked about, Kurt. I just said, you know, there was some situation that we were 4th and short and we went for it, and then, you know, we needed those points. You know, KC's gonna They're potent offense. It was just I'm upset about it. I'm kind of upset about it. But you know, it's a learning procedure. You know,
Real
these
quick,
guys know what they did wrong. They know what to do. They know
Yeah.
Kansas City's the measuring stick now. So we'll see how they go from here on out.
All right. What is this real quick? I don't know who this is, but good season for your team, Will. Fun listening with you guys each week. Thanks for joining us each week. For some reason, yours is coming up at Facebook user, so I'm not sure who it is. But anyway, thanks for joining us. Where am I? Yeah, no, I agree with you. Listen, my thing was looking at this. I guess we'll just keep going and you break it down or whatever. We started off with the 4-3. I think they went out 3 and 4, right? Or 3 downs and out. I think when we went 4 and 3
on the first series, yeah.
After that, the 4-3 disappeared. We went back to, the soft nickel or soft defense, you want to call it. All right. One thing about the soft, we started 4-3. You got them out. Fine. Then you go back and do the same thing you did against them the first time we played, which drove me insane. By the way, Justin, our buddy, said, see you chumps in the fall. And he has a picture of Deshaun Watson like this. I don't think he's going there. We'll talk about that later. You're a scrub, Justin. Also, my buddy.
Hey, what do you think about that real quick before you go on? I think he might wind up in New England. I think New England, they already said they're going to be very aggressive. So we'll see how that goes, see how that plays out.
We'll talk about a little bit more, but I don't think they have what Houston wants.
Yeah.
My buddy Ken Workington over here. What did he put? Where's my comments? My brother Oz was joking to do and actually Bobby joked around that we should do a Viva Los Rangers show. Drinking Molson XX Canadian beer up there, and Seagram's VO no lifter. This guy's getting it in. Talent. All right, let me get back to the 4-3 was working. Who knows if it would have worked the rest of the way, but we won't know because they went back to the dumb nickel soft coverage. One thing they faced, the first problem was, listen, I love Tremaine Edmonds, but Tremaine Edmonds is not that great of a cover guy. He holds the middle, you're playing zone. So he's starting off 5 to 6 yards, right? Off the ball. Now, when they hike the ball, he's dropping an extra 5 yards, which to me makes no sense because then the tight end just goes to the 5-yard line or the running back or Hill, who is dragging 5-yard lines, catch the ball. Hello, yards after catch, like you said.
He needed to get jammed up at the line, man. They needed to jam him up at the line.
And listen, I've watched people are like, well, you can't jam him. You could jam him on the line. Yeah. The problem is if you're matching him up against a safety or a corner, he's way bigger than him. Most of the time, he tosses him.
Well, most of the time, the person that was matched up was Edmonds. I think there was 11 throws or 12 throws to Kelce, and out of those throws, 7 or 8, he was covered by Edmonds. So,
yeah, but the problem wasn't so much that; it was more that they were playing the zone. So Kelce goes there, catches it right in the middle, turns around and runs. Then Trey's getting him, or Trey's behind him. He was too slow for that. Okay, my thing is, if you're going to run this defense or soft defense, you got your nickel defense, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't working. They were eating up the middle. Go to quarters defense. Now, do you know what quarters defense is?
Yeah.
So quarters, you're adding another strong safety or a free safety and another line, another corner. Okay, fine, do that. And if you want to get crazier, instead of having a safety there, bring in Klein. So you still have your 3 linebackers, but you take Milano, shift them to the middle. Milano's a better cover guy in the middle.
In the middle right there. Just keep him right there in the middle.
And Tremaine either blitzes or goes to the flat or something. And your other corner, whether it had been Norman or somebody, could play him. He didn't have to jam him at the line. He could have done playing a better zone than Tremaine Edmonds. Did
Norman even play in this game?
He played towards the second half. No, he got in at the second half for some reason. Levi Wallace wasn't in. So I don't know if Levi got hurt, but Norman came in towards the end of the game. And I will say this, part of me is not happy that Dable's back and Frazier's back. Okay?
Yeah.
My concern, my thing with Dable is, which McDermott brought up, is that hey, you need to run the ball. They're not running the ball. You need a run game. You can't go one dimensional like we did in this playoff game. You can't do it. You're going to get eaten up. Like I told Bobby before you got here, I don't know if you heard it. They played how I said the Bills needed to play. They played man. We have all these good corners. We have one of the best corners in the league. Back in the day, if you had your best corner, was always on the best wide receiver.
You match him up wherever he went. That's where you match him up.
Exactly. Yeah. Why wasn't Hill on him all the time? And don't get me wrong, Hill burnt White a few times. He got behind White, you know. Yeah. But why wasn't he covering him the whole game?
Yeah. The defensive scheme this week, the defensive scheme, I was really perplexed by it because, you know, when you really look at it, when they have the safeties way back like that, I mean, it's such, you're giving them a cushion of 5 or 10 yards, like you said. So, you know, Hill and Kelsey, that's what they strive on, those drag routes, those little middle routes. Yep. You know, that's what they kept doing. I was like, when is the adjustments going to come? And they never came. And when they tried to do something about it, it was a little too late.
They adjusted backwards. They digressed instead of getting better. By the way, our buddy Chris Kamick, what up, Chris? He says hi. He's checking in from the Rutgers game. Listen, looking also, here was the game day roster. Again, I said it the week before. The playoff game against Indy, where was Trent Murphy? Didn't play. He came in. They had him play against the Ravens. He had a few good plays, you know, key plays. And then you sit him against Kansas City. You need him against Kansas City.
Yeah.
It made no sense to me. And all right, another thing that got on my nerves. Listen, I love Beasley. Beasley had a great game for us. Gabriel Davis has had a great year for us. Why is Gabriel Davis out there if he's not 100%? If you got Kenny Stills sitting on your practice squad or on your bench, tell him, run a flag, run a post, run a drag route. Why is Davis out there? And you saw it. They started trying to use him at the end of the game, but you saw him limping.
You can still see him hobbling. And look at Beasley. Beasley, at the end of the game, went to press conference or whatever the next day, he said he was broke. He was playing with a broken fibula.
Why is he in the game?
I don't know. I mean, I love the guy. I love his heart, but he kind of hurt us more than he helped us, really. I mean, you know, if you can't plant your feet, if you can't run, the guy, don't get me wrong, I love the kid. It was the best, you know, I mean, the heart and soul of the winning factor, you know, but, you know, do you know, you should know as a professional, like, man, I'm not going to be able to compete at this level with this injury.
Well, if you're looking at the game day roster, you have Kenny Stills. Kenny Stills could have been thrown into the game. All right.
Yeah.
And if you're not, why isn't Andre Roberts going in there? Why isn't Isaiah McKenzie? Isaiah McKenzie was barely used, and when they did use him, he got 2 first downs for us. And
I believe it was the 4th down, wasn't it? I think it was the 4th down.
Yeah, and the other one, I think it was the 3rd. Yeah. So it was good. He did what they needed to do. Now the Bills played into their strength. They played man. And I love our receivers, but they showed that our receivers aren't all that strong to get off the press.
Yeah. Yep.
So if I'm another team and I got pretty good corners, I'm pressing the Bills.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I would do. But they showed that they need to get stronger and be able to get off the press.
Yeah.
Man to man, they covered us all day long. Allen didn't have many places to go to, which was upsetting. You know, it was just upsetting.
The 3 keys to this game to me was that they contained Diggs. I mean, they literally contained him. There was nothing. They were on all the receivers, actually. They contained the receivers. They had hardly no pressure on Mahomes. Mm-hmm. So when you don't get that pressure, I mean, he's going to eat you up alive. You know what I mean? Another thing I noticed, they contained Allen in the pocket. You know how he likes to roll out to his right? Man, they did a great job because there was a couple times he was attempting to roll on the right, and they knew it, and they contained him back into that pocket. And he looked really flustered. And another thing, too, you know, there was no turnovers by the Chiefs. So when you get all those 3 things, that's a recipe, you know, for a win for the Chiefs. I mean, we didn't look like the team that played the the previous 8 to 10 games. They pretty much, and then in the audibles, I mean, the coaching staff must have did a great job, because when Josh would call audible, as soon as he called the audibles, them guys were moving and they knew where to go. They're already expecting to play. So hats off to the coaching staff. You know, I give props where props is due.
I text you that. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
Once he audibled, they already shifted to where they were going. They were pointing. They knew where we were going. So I don't know, maybe because half the games had no crowd noise, they would listen to the tape, see where the audible was going or something. Drove me crazy. It was like they knew our play better than we did. They couldn't get separation. Now, the one thing all year long, like I said, used to drive me crazy was the Isaiah sweep or jet sweep or whatever you want to call it. Where was this game? Every time we motioned, we motioned and had our receivers set. It was getting no separation. So then you want to do like they were doing it to us. You would have that Isaiah sweep and have this guy in motion. It's harder to cover. The first game, Hill was on the ends a lot of the times. He wasn't motioning as much. This game, they used it to his strength because it's harder to hit him coming off the line. Now, one thing that drives me crazy, I forgot which game it was, AJ Klein, I think you might remember too. He lit up, I think it was a running back or a receiver, and people wanted a flag, but there was no flag because he lit him up within the 5 yards. Kelsey wasn't hit. Hill wasn't hit ever coming out of the background. I said it against the Browns against KC. I was like, why did nobody hit this guy and let him run free openly? They did it to the Bills again, 4th and 1. I was surprised they went to it, but they used Hill as a distraction, did the same play to a running back. If you watch Kansas City, they do the same plays over and over and over. But I give them credit because it's almost like Vince Lombardi said, we're doing the powerhouse sweep. Stop it if you can. Nobody stopped.
And you know what? The 4th down play that they had that they went for, they actually did the same exact play that they did to beat the Browns. The same exact play that they've used, I think, 16 times prior. So, like, if you watch a game film, if you know, at least have an inkling, hey, it might go to Hill right here in this little down and out, real quick 5 and out. Cover it, and that's what they did. That drove me crazy. Another thing too, I know the refs were letting them play and this and that, but there was a lot of little cheap stuff that I seen, a lot of pushing. I think Quentin, who was the guy? I don't know if that got hit in the head, got punched, and it was just body slam.
In the beginning, it was Jones punched Feliciano. Nobody saw.
Feliciano dropped. Yeah.
And I think that was either in the first or second quarter. He should have been kicked out of the game. Shouldn't have played. Whatever.
Rejected,
they missed it. And that was another thing I was going to bring up too. Later on, people are saying, "Oh, Bills are sore losers. They're fighting." Oh, Allen threw the ball at him. Listen, Jones had Allen. The whistle was being blown. Jones ends up letting go of Allen. Now he was the main guy on Allen, first guy on him. All of a sudden, Okafor comes, grabs him, takes him down. He didn't slam him, but he took him down. There was no reason for it. And then Allen, he just flicked the ball at him, flicked him. It didn't throw a rocket at him. He flicked it. So then Okafor gets all pissed and acts like, a big man. And I love the fact that Feliciano shoved him to the ground. And then
it wasn't Feliciano, it was Snow, wasn't it?
No, it was Feliciano.
He came back after the second one. Yeah, that's right.
Dawkins came, pushed him down, and then pushed him out again. And you saw he raised his hand like this. And then he's like, his jersey was coming out of him like, woo, this is jersey time.
He was upset. I mean, that goes to show you the camaraderie they have. And I don't know who it was. I don't remember who it was, but I think it was it Diggs that got slammed?
Yes. And that was I think they ended up falling against them, but it was a cheap shot. Listen, the one thing they did, and I give them credit, is they played aggressive. I said the Bills need to play aggressive, punch somebody in the mouth. They came out with that attitude. They didn't play like that the first game. Kansas City came out with that attitude. And number 62, I think he's a guard on their team, he kept pushing after the whistle. And it was getting the Bills.
The guy with the red hair, right? I forgot his name. Yeah.
He kept doing it all game long. No calls against him, but he reminded me of Incognito when he would hit.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
keep
Little
going.
bird.
They played with fire, and that's something
Yeah.
we didn't do. They took it to us. So, like I
Hey,
said,
man.
I give credit where credit's due. They muscled us.
Yeah,
You know.
they whipped us, man. It is what it is. They out. Listen, we were outplayed.
Mm-hmm.
We were out prepared. We were out coached. We were out schemed. If you want anything you want to add in there, we were out of it pretty much.
Yeah.
Because even though we were up 9-0, which I was excited about, once we got, like I said, down to the goal line, 4th and goal and stuff, should have
Mm-hmm.
tried. Man. I mean, it's rough. It's a rough. I mean, and then again, the coaches know, and it makes sense. Like you said, if you can't get there in 3 downs and get it, get the points. So I'm torn between both. If you can't get it within 3 downs,
If you
but
see
at the
they're
same time,
struggling,
it's the Chiefs, man. The Chiefs scored. I think they had a 2-minute freaking score on us. A 2-minute drive, like right
this
away.
is the problem. This is the problem. Like I say all the time, it always happens. All right, let's say they're down there, they go for it, they don't kick the field goal, and they miss it.
Yeah.
They don't get the.
Yeah. Then you get 0 anyway.
Everybody's going to say, "Well, why didn't you kick the field goal and take the points?"
Yeah.
The last time there, I get it because you know what, time's running out, whatever. But the time before that, take the points. I know it stinks, but at least you have something. Hopefully, your defense could stop their offense, and that wasn't happening. I text you, and I think I text Kyle. I'm pretty sure I think I told you too, but Kyle's like, "Yo, what do you think?" And this is at the half. I'm like, if they come out and score a touchdown, this game's done. Luckily, the Bills held them to 3 points, and I was like, all right, we have a chance still, but we have to score.
And to be honest with you, it could have been a lot worse because there was 2 or 3 dropped interceptions. If you recall that dropped through, it could have been a lot worse also. So
he didn't look as comfortable as he always does.
Yeah.
But again, he was trying to force stuff. He was looking at Diggs way too much, but everybody was covered, man. They're coming off the line. Everybody was covered. That's when you needed to do more motion, add more motion. They didn't do it. They added motion, but they would set them. Don't set them. Let them take that speed. Get out there. Take quick stands.
Hats off to TJ Yeldon. I thought he played a great game for being thrown in there for the first time. I mean, he caught the ball pretty well. I don't know where his stats are. I don't have them on hand. Maybe you got them on hand, but I was actually impressed with him. So, I felt bad for Singletary, but that drop that he had, I think that was one of the crucial moments in the game. I mean, he had Green ahead of him. There was nobody in front of him. It could have shifted that momentum easily. But by that drop, that's why he got in the doghouse, man.
Yeah, I
love the kid as a player, but that was a crucial drop.
Yeah, it was, and they've put him not to sound crazy, but on a short leash. After his fumbles, the few fumbles he had, anytime he messed up, they took him out, and that was, bring in what's his name, Moss, and TJ came in, and what did he do? He ended up dropping a pass too. I was like, are you serious? Yeah. But then he had some nice catches after that, and he got into a little rhythm. So you can't really blame him. But the run game was nowhere. No run game. Allen, that's it, Allen. And you can't play and win big games when you don't run the ball. It's not going to happen. You're going to get eaten up, and they got eaten up.
If we had some type of run play, it would have kept Mahomes off the field a lot less. You know what I mean? That should have been the game plan. If we could try to run. I know we're a pass-heavy team. Everybody expected us to pass. That's the thing. Look what happened with the Baltimore game. We passed the ball 25 consecutive times in the first half. I don't know if there's a record or not, but I mean, we didn't even run one snap in the first half of the Baltimore game. So, teams are prepared for that. And when you break down the film, all the wide receivers were covered. Everybody was covered. At the end there, Josh got a couple run plays, but it's already too late. It's garbage run time, if you ask me. So
that was it. I mean, listen, they knew we were going to run the ball. So what did they do? They played man to man and said, beat us. We know you can't run the ball. So we're going to take away the one thing you have, the pass.
Yep.
We're going to force you, beat us, you beat us. But we know you can't run the ball. And you're not going to run the ball Mr. Dable, with no fullback. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just one running back usually doesn't work. It doesn't work. You need a fullback or a tight end to go in there and block. You got big, chunky Lee Smith. Use them. They did that one setup one time.
He was there a couple times, a couple plays in there.
Yeah, but for run blocking, they didn't even run towards his side where they had that almost like a weird pro form setup where it was, I think, Gillian, the running back, and then Lee was on the other side. They should have brought him over and had a big power sweep or something, but they didn't do it.
They actually ran the eye a couple times. I hadn't seen that all season.
It was once.
I recall.
One time.
That's it. I think I texted you. I said, man, I never seen him run the eye like that. But
yeah, that's the one I'm talking
about. Ran it during the year, but I didn't notice it at all. That was the first time it caught my eye. But I don't know. What do you think, real quick, before we keep talking about this game? What do you think are the needs of the Buffalo Bills going into the 2021 season?
One thing, like I say, is they need a big defensive tackle. Because
we're getting Star back, right?
Well, Star, yeah, but I still think, well, who knows how he's going to look. I say you need a defensive tackle that weighs 350 pounds plus.
Plug the middle up.
Plug the run, and you're going to have to take two guys on him, and it keeps the guys off Tremaine Edmonds. Our defensive line, it's like all DNs. Nobody's really that big except for Oliver. And Oliver, he's tall and he's slim. Jefferson's kind of big. So we'll see. I think they need that. We don't need receivers. Receivers is taken care of. Tight ends, if Knox steps up, then okay. Lee Smith, he has 1 year. They could buy him out with no dead money. Or if they cut him before a certain time, I probably would do it.
We'll hit the cap.
I'm sorry. I like him, but he's not really catching balls. You need a good tight end,
unless he gets into shape, because man, and I know that once we knew he was going in there, I mean, I think he caught one touchdown this year.
But that's fine. I'm fine with that. You know what?
I'm saying, but once you see him in there, it's going to be either a pass protection or run block, one or the other. I mean,
what do you have? 3 TDs on the year? 3 TDs at least, I think, or something. So, but I would throw him in as a fullback. Go block. And he could catch.
Huge. Fullback, I don't think he's that fast to be a
dude.
I don't know.
All he needs to do is put on a body on one guy and give a little hold to our running backs.
Yeah.
That's if you could do that, but who knows? What else?
Definitely. What do you think about the running back situation with Moss and Singletary?
If you don't bring in somebody to help them block, it doesn't matter who's back there. That's the way I see it. I'm sorry. You need an extra helper out there. And you need to commit more to the run. You're going 5 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers, and he just hasn't done it. He's gone one-dimensional. And that's part of me. I was hoping he got signed somewhere. I'm sorry, because listen, in the playoffs, what did our offense really do?
Nope.
Our offense really didn't do much at all. Play calling got changed up a lot, and our offense really didn't do much. Our defense stepped up. So last year, he started off hot in Houston. Halftime, he changed his offensive. We lost. And to me, he didn't look all that great. Don't get me wrong. Look at what was this? He was a Professional Football Writers Association, named an assistant coach of the year. And that's great. Our offense went up because, look at the talent we have on that squad.
Yeah.
You just need more running. Everything was in the air. All in the air. Great. You could throw the ball. We have a lot of receivers, and that's fine. It's going to be fine for next year, too. We have all these receivers. You have an insane amount of receivers. Look, where's the thing? 13 roster moves. So 13 players have been signed to future reserve contracts. What do we got? Look at Tanner Gentry. Will he make the team? Don't know. Jake Kumaro. It would suck that he wasn't able to get into the game because he could have taken somebody's spot because he was healthy. He just couldn't get through the protocol by the time of the game. Yep. Duke Williams. What happened to poor Duke, man? The guy stepped up and he plays, and he's never getting time. So, these guys, let's see who takes Andre Roberts. I don't think Andre Roberts is going to be there. Antonio Williams, listen, love the guy. I think he's going to take a big step up next year if they actually use him. Christian Wade, love the guy, but if they're not going to use him, I mean, he's making some money just being on a practice squad. I guess he's happy with that because I would be mad. I'd be like, yo, if you're not going to use me, I'm going to go play somewhere else. And if not, whatever. He's getting a paycheck. He's fine with it, I guess. I mean, wide receiver is nothing to be taken. We don't have to worry about that. I mean, honestly, real quick, in this first year, I mean, it was a great year. I'm sorry. We had first 12-plus win season since 1993. First AFC championship appearance since 1994. AFC East title, first time since 1995. They actually had a 13-3 record. That was better than anybody predicted. I mean, I said maybe if everything goes well, they could go 13-3. And they were a Hail Mary away from going 14-2. Now, I'm going to go off here a little. You can listen to me. I'm going to go off on a little tangent. I know you saw, whoever didn't see it, Bobby posted, like he said, hey, man, two guys, different times in my life, friends, got them together, diehard Buffalo Bills fans. And, thanks for having us on the show. It became their #1 viewed show. So thank you to all the Bills fans who watch, our fellow fans, family, friends, whoever watches, supports us. Thank you. And don't get me wrong. We have different people from different teams who watch and support also, which is cool. Now, Tom Casey, who loves getting me fired up, said, hey, back to reality. And I was like, are you serious right now? First of all, I'm a little heated because the Bills lost, but I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. But
easy there. Easy.
I know, too much of that. So I was like, are you serious right now? So it got me fired up. And I'm like, well, if that's our reality, back to reality, is losing in the AFC Championship game against the Super Bowl champions, I'm fine with it. A lot of people didn't even have us going this far or looking this good. And I said, I'm fine with that. Then he's like, the only reason the Bills are good is because of COVID. Now, are you serious? I love talking football with people who are realistic. Okay. That's your excuse. So New England, I always thought he was a Jet fan. He's actually a New England fan. So, and then he's like, well, New England, or he also called me a fanboy. I'm like, that just got me fired up too. Like I'm a fanboy and I just say the Bills are #1 and everything. Not true. Listen, you guys lost 8 players in COVID protocol. And that's true. Was the worst one out of everybody. The Bills lost 2. Okay. Now, I don't think all these guys opting out was just due to COVID. That's my belief. If I want to be a fanboy, I think it was because they saw no Gronk and Brady took off and they knew, who are we going to go with? Stidham or whatever his name is? We're not going to win anything. I'd rather sit home, relax, heal up for a year, and then I'll come back in the following year and see what's going on. That's not Buffalo Bills' problem that your players didn't want to play for you.
It could have been a different season if we had Star plugging up the middle. All the games that the people ran on us, it might have been different.
EJ Gaines is a very good corner, but whatever. I don't care about that. At least be realistic, Don't talk crap like that. All right. What else? Listen, I always give credit where credit is due. New England, like I said earlier when you got on, I never hated Tom Brady. I always fought with my brother who always says schemes, After Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl, I was like, yo, this guy's going to be the best quarterback of all time. My brother's like, no. All right. They went back and won another one. I was like, he's the best quarterback of all time. And, everybody says Montana or this or whoever. And I was like, dude, this guy won 2 Super Bowls with nobody. His receivers were 2s and 3s on other squads, and they won. I give credit to him. Belichick, another guy. Once he won his first Super Bowl, I was like, this guy's the best coach. If you want to go Landry or Lombardi and all these guys, I was like, listen. And people would say Parcells. My argument was this: Parcells won his Super Bowls. Who was his defensive coordinator? Belichick.
Yeah.
Belichick's won without Parcells. Parcells never won without Belichick.
Lawrence Taylor didn't really want Parcells. Belichick over there. From what I understand back then.
Lawrence Taylor, that's another comment. I don't care about that guy. Not just as a player, he was a very good player. As a person, whatever.
Yeah.
You can't call me a fanboy because I give respect where respect is due. Now, another thing that got on my nerves that there What was? Let's see. Okay, here. Let me see what else he said. Back reality. Okay, that's fine. You know, we what? Josh is not ready to win a big game. Okay, so our wild card game against Indy, top 10 offense, top 10 defense. I guess that's nothing. I guess that's not a game. And then we go against Baltimore because nobody really had us winning against Baltimore. But guess what? They won the game and no credit. So he can't win a big game. He lost against the Super Bowl champs, Mahomes and everybody. Okay. So you're telling me that wasn't good on Josh. So those are two games that meant nothing that he won. Fine. Again, they could have really went 14-2. A Hail Mary away. Pretty good for some bum who can't win a game. And then there was another guy.
The good thing is, listen, I know you fired up. I'm fired up about this. You know what I mean? But the good thing is that you can project that they're just going to get better. That's the good thing about it.
Well, not according to him, because it was COVID-19 only.
Yeah, but I mean, every year everything changes. Now, hey, listen, the AFC East is going to be a wholly different, totally different AFC East than it was this year. I mean, the Jets, whoever they get as quarterback, New England, I mean, it's going to be a totally different beast. Do I think we're going to sweep? I can't predict that yet. We got to see the offseason moves. We got to see the draft. We're going to break that down before the season. We're going to see how they pick because, Jets they're good in cap space. New England, they said they're going to be aggressive and looking for a quarterback. So, think about it if Deshaun goes over there and all those 8 guys that opted back in, that's a different team. I mean, realistically, if you want to not be a fanboy, if you want to be realistic, they're going to be a hell of a team. You know what I'm saying? So, the AFC is going to be different. We just got to see how it all plays out and see what the general managers do.
Hold on one second now. Let me get back to my rant. All right, another one, because those are things we could touch on. Another one was our buddy, got me fired up, Jordan, the Jet fan. All right.
Okay.
So the first thing I saw him tweet was Bills being sore losers, because of the overreaction of throwing Allen down. Are you serious? He got mad because he threw the quarterback down when he shouldn't. And then I was like, well, the whistle had blown. He came in and then knocked him down after Jones didn't even do it. He was just finishing a tackle. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, but look at the beginning of the game, all the other cheap crap that was going on.
Who cares? But be sincere with yourself. You saw what it was. If that was them throwing your dumb quarterback around, maybe you would have been mad too. Then
imagine if it was Brady. Imagine if it was Brady.
Oh, yeah. There would have been whistles everywhere. Then this clown goes and tweets and posts poetry in motion on this beautiful Sunday, right? What is it? He reposted a tweet from some dumb guy named JJ something. I guess it's his buddy who's another Jet fan. And it was the tweet for this idiot JJ. What did it say? Jet fans were rooting for Buffalo? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Why? Question mark. Their fan base is obnoxious as shit by and large. By and large. I don't know how that's poetry, Jordan. Doesn't rhyme or anything. And I know what poetry doesn't need a rhyme, but that was just stupid. Okay? So let me go over here. I'm going to say why these Jet fans, not all of them, because we do have cool Jet fans. Some Jet fans are just idiots. Listen, why are you upset, JJ and Jordan? Because your team went 2-14? That's not the Bills' fault. Well, partially it is, because we beat you 2 of those times. All right. Now, you're upset also why? Because you guys don't support your team. You guys usually give up on your team after week 3. So that's on you guys. That's not on us. Bills fans, we support our team no matter what. Now let's go around. You guys mad because your quarterback was supposed to be the best in that draft or second best, and he can't get out his own way? Is that why you're mad? Hating on Allen, calling him a fullback? But yet, look at his numbers compared to your guy. Oh, by the way, listen, I know it might not be much, but he's a professional, the Pro Writers Association Most Improved Player of the Year. I don't see Arnold or whatever his dumb name is on that. Maybe you guys are mad by that too. Here we go. All right. Maybe you're just mad because your team isn't all that bright. You guys hired an offensive genius who wasn't a real genius, and he's over there starting a 37-year-old running back who's on our squad. and we let go. Come on now. What else you want? Maybe what else? Or maybe it's because you guys are a little confused, saying you guys playing in New York when you actually play in New Jersey. Maybe you win some games if you get that little piece straight. Also, maybe it's that, you guys are mad that you're like the little brother who plays with the big brother over there and share the same football stadium. And you got to see they've won championships and you guys can't win 5 games. One more thing. All right. And for being
another thing too, they got a new coach. They got Robert Saleh.
Hold on, Benny. Let me finish.
I'm trying to put a little bit of icing on your cake, man.
Hold on. Let me get to the obnoxious Bills fans part. All right. What do? We break some tables. We do that for our own all entertainment, and we do it with our own fans. When you go to a game in Buffalo as an opposing fan, you're not getting harassed. It's all love. You get to enjoy the game. We enjoy the game. Listen, for obnoxious fans, they already donated over $1 million to Josh Allen's grandmother's foundation for children who are sick. For obnoxious fans, they already donated over $360,000 to Lamar Jackson's
$450
charity. Now it's at $450. There you go. Less than a week ago, it was at $360 for obnoxious fans. Not even our own players or own team people. But you know what? It's for the good for kids, right? Obnoxious fans. Listen, over it was close to $250,000 last year for Andy Dalton's charity for obnoxious fans. They show up for the team. Listen, they showed up over here in Buffalo at 2 a.m. to welcome their team back from losing in Kansas City. Obnoxious fans. Doesn't matter if the Bills are in the playoffs or out the playoffs. They back their team no matter what. That's it. Yep. Family, the mafia, whatever you want to call it. Obnoxious fans, we do that. You tell me and you point out stuff that Jet fans are doing like that. So that tweet got me fired up because it's just dumb. If you want to be a fan of just a team, that's fine. You want to talk crap about teams, that's fine. But do it with a realistic mindset. Don't just talk crap. Listen, I give credit where credit's due. I thought the Jets were going to be better than 2-14. That was my bad. See how dumb I am? You guys proved me wrong. All right.
Yeah, so we were going to split with them. I called it in the beginning of the year. I said the Jets will probably be the hardest game in the AFC East against us.
Mm-hmm. So,
but I was wrong.
Stop hating for no reason. Be realistic. If a guy has a great year, I say he has a great year, even if he's on a team that I don't like. You give him credit. Listen, I don't like Mahomes, but he's putting them in work.
I give credit
away from him. I could be like, hey, the only thing I don't like about Mahomes is like he has to be number one in everything. And the one thing these guys, Allen included, Mahomes, all these guys have to remember, they're playing in a soft league. And the men that played before them, the Titans, you want to say maybe, Montana, Marino, Elway, Kelly, all these guys, they played in a man's league. You guys are playing in a powder puff league where you can't be hit. You can't get – in the day, you had a step, you were getting crushed. These poor linemen can't even put their weight on you. Yeah. These guys were getting hit by 300-pound defensive tackles, 350. If you got hit by Ted Washington or Sam Rodgers with all that weight, full strength, they would break your little Mahomes butt. So stay humble, kids. Remember how the game was played. All your numbers right now should have asterisks. Look at Jerry Rice. That guy used to get killed cutting across the middle. You can't touch Kelsey after 5 yards. In the old league, a linebacker would have taken his head off or a safety would have ripped him in half. Now you can't even hit a wide receiver hard or a tight end hard because helpless receivers or you hit him too hard. You can't do that no more. So all these numbers, Kelsey thinks he's the man. He's going to break Gonzalez's numbers, Sharp's numbers, and he thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread. And remember, Kelsey, you didn't play in the man's league. You're playing in the softer league. That drives me crazy about these guys too.
Hey, who's the Jets head coach now?
All right. Hey, we'll get
Robert
to some league news real quick. So the Jets side, Robert Saleh, which I didn't know. Robert Saleh is actually the third head coach that is of Arab descent, and he's the first Muslim coach in the NFL. So good for him. Good to him.
Good for him, but hey, let me ask you a question.
What?
Where did he come from?
San Fran.
What did he do at San Fran?
He was a defensive coordinator.
What happened in the Super Bowl?
They lost to Kansas City. And
how did they lose that game?
What do you mean by stupid?
How did they lose it? Because they were, but San Francisco was blowing them away.
They blew it away. They blew the thing.
Blowing them away, and then all of a sudden that defense collapsed. So Jets, good luck. I mean, I don't know what culture he's going to bring over there, but just seeing what happened at that San Fran game doesn't really. I wouldn't be too excited.
I like that you brought that out because I really didn't even think about that. But what I was thinking about is like, all right, everybody's all pumped now. The thing is, this guy went from a defense. Look at San Fran's defense and the players he has on that squad to the Jets. You can't compare them, especially if San Fran is healthy. Maybe he can motivate them and get them to play like that. Hey, good luck to him. I hope the guy has success. Not against Buffalo, but I hope he has success. Another thing was, what's his name? The Ravens. The Ravens hired David Culley. And I forgot, David Culley was actually the Bills quarterback coach 2017 to 2018. Mm-hmm. Now, he was going up against
Huh? Who got, where did he get hired?
The Ravens actually didn't hire him. Houston hired him, but he was the Ravens assistant coach.
Okay. Yeah, you got me a little confused. I was like, man, I didn't see that.
No, I messed it up. He's 65 years old, which makes him and it's his first time head coaching job. So he's the first or oldest coach to get a head coaching job for the first time. He was the Ravens assistant head coach, right? But he was the passing games coordinator and receivings coach. What did the Ravens struggle with this year?
Passing.
And what did they not supposedly have? A number one wide receiver. So you pass up on Eric Bieniemy and Leslie Frazier, and you sign this guy. Listen, he's coached under, what is it, John Harbaugh. He's coached under Andy Reid. And
I think he was under Andy Reid for like 11 years or 10 years. So he does,
and he coached under Bill Coward.
Yeah.
And by the way, he's the only African-American coach to get hired this year. And Deshaun Watson still wants to trade. So that's something he has to deal with. What else about him?
I don't know how does that season. I mean, we could talk about it, but I don't even know how that, in terms of his contract and no trade clause and all that. I mean, he might even sit out this year if worse come to worse.
Well, this is the problem. He has a no trade clause, so he has to waive that for him to be traded. He gets, I guess, to choose where he wants to go. But they're not going to trade him. He has 3 years left on his contract. They're not going to trade him unless they get whatever they want. And supposedly asking price for him as of right now is at least 3 number one picks.
Yeah.
So if the Jets want him, the Jets would have to give up probably their 4 first-round picks that they have in the next 2 years.
They have a lot of picks this year. I think they have 7 or 8.
Well, it doesn't matter. Like I said, they would have to give up at least the 4 number one picks they have this year and next year combined. I think they have
futures. Okay.
Yeah, they have 2 and 2. I don't think they should do it. You're giving away too much. That team needs too much. Okay,
but you could go and you could get that argument of what we give up for Diggs. You know what I mean? A lot of people, I got a lot of texts, a lot of messages like, "Oh, we gave too much for Diggs." But look what happened.
That's not 4 first rounders.
Yeah, that is a lot.
And okay, you bring them in, that's fine. You better spend the money you have correctly because that team needs a lot. His offensive line is rough. Yeah, they have a good kid over there, but they need to fix it. You're not going to get a first-round draft pick offensive lineman, so who knows? Yeah. So that would be tough. So Miami, all right, he said he wouldn't mind playing in Miami. He wouldn't mind playing in New York, supposedly, because he likes Saleh or whatever his name is. The problem with Miami now, they could trade them Tua and a first round pick this year, next year's first round, and give up Tua. Now Houston gets a quarterback, and they might do that because now you have 2 first-round picks on top of their own. It would make more sense. But who knows? Because also, Rodgers isn't going nowhere. I highly doubt it. Now Sam Bradford wants to be out. Matt Ryan is available. Who was the other quarterback that said he could be available too. I forgot, but there's another guy out there. There's like 3 or 4 quarterbacks that are probably going to be out there or are available for the right price.
Yeah.
So, like you said, who knows where they're going? Also, real quick, Jason Witten retired again, and Greg Olson retired again. Or Greg Olson retired finally, Jersey boy.
Yeah, please. Witten again.
Huh?
You got Witten again.
No, Witten did. Yeah, well, he retired again.
Yeah.
And now Olsen is gone. I mean, that was just my little. I had to get that off my chest from these 2 clowns.
It's all good, man. It's all good. I'm pretty sure they'll be, but probably next show they could. You know what? If they want to come on and talk about it, they could come on. We could have them on for a segment.
Don't get me wrong. We'll have them on again. Bobby was telling me Tom might want to try to do a Pat's show with him, which would be kind of cool.
That's cool.
You know, real quick also before we head out of here, notable free agents coming up for the Bills. Darrell Williams, who started our offensive tackle for us, he's 28. John Feliciano, 28. I think they need to re-sign him, but he got kind of abused this past weekend. Matt Milano, 26. To me, that's the biggest one they got to get done. Isaiah McKenzie, he's 25. He's out there again. Your boy Norman, he's 33 for $6 million. I don't think I'm bringing him back, but you know, Josh, Andre Roberts, 33 years old. Listen, he had a great year for us. I personally would re-sign Isaiah and let him go, and then Ty Neski, he's 35. You know, probably let him go too. So,
yeah, we got a lot of, you know, with the salary cap situation we got. There's going to have to be a lot of restructure. I think John Brown probably won't be here, but we'll talk about it a little bit later on after the Super Bowl. You know, when things get heated up with the changes and also the draft. So that's when everything will be more available. So after the Super Bowl, I guess we'll be back next week, talk about a little bit more news, and you'll get our predictions for the Super Bowl, and see what happens. I mean, I'm a little upset about the season, about how the season ended. But I'm very excited how the season went. I mean, nobody really in that, besides us, we kind of felt that we were going to have a great season. But people outside of us, you know, didn't really think. I got phone calls like, man, I don't think they're going to be good. And I was like, listen, this is why, you know, we broke it down. And you got to sit down and kind of break it down. This is what I think. You know, I mean, on paper, they look good, but let's see how they produce it. They produce, I mean, you know, look at Diggs. We paid a lot for Diggs, but he had 16 games with 6 or more catches. That's an NFL record. He was the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. So, you know, and the culture that he brought to Buffalo. A lot of people say he was a crybaby over there in Minnesota, but I haven't seen any of that. I haven't heard any of that. As a matter of fact, everybody, all the other receivers have grown and learned from him, and he just makes everybody better. So I thought everything that they gave him was worth it. So, I mean, we had a great year. Congratulations to the Bills. We love y'all, man. Bills Mafia. You guys are great. Great season. We're looking forward to another great season. I know it's going to be a little bit tougher with the cap situation. I know the AFC is going to be a little bit more competitive because New England said they're going to go ahead all in. The Jets are going to go on it. Who knows it's going to be a little bit tighter, but I know we're going to be just that better. If you've seen Diggs at the end of the game, he was the only one out there on the field watching.
Actually,
Kansas City celebrate. So
they said Norman was out there too for a while.
Yeah.
But he ended up walking because it was weird when I was watching it and I saw Diggs standing there. I'm like, yo, why is he still standing there? Yeah. And then, you know, the next day you start seeing all the pictures and everything that happened. It was pretty, I mean, give him credit, you know, just remember that burn.
Those are moments that define you, that you know, look at the look that Josh had in his eyes with Houston. You see how he came back this year, and you can see that look again kind of in his eyes. And then you see what Diggs and all certain guys, and you know they just love each other and they want to stick together. And let's see how it goes with it. You know, Bean says that the cap situation is a little bit tight. It's gonna be some restructuring, like I said. Some people are gonna get let go. But matter of fact, I was just talking about this with a buddy of mine today before we go. They have to sign Josh. You know, they're gonna have to sign Josh. I'm expecting, you know, Holmes got a $50 million a year for 10 years. I'm expecting Josh to get, being that we're in a smaller market, maybe 27 to 33 a year for the next 8 years. That's my prediction.
He's probably going to get over 30. Listen, I mean, lock him in. I think. What year is he on now? He's on his fourth year.
Fourth year now.
They still could sign up to his free agent. His 5th-year option. They just want to pay him now, and get it done, and not worry about.
Or they'll get the contract and maybe have it go, in effect next season. We'll see how it goes. We'll keep you guys informed, man. Once we got a lot of stuff from Fred Kilmartin. Shout out to Fred. I get a lot of my info from him and Buffalo News Consolidated. A lot of guys that in the circle here that we watch and we kind of get information from, and plus straight from Buffalo Bills. So we keep you guys posted on whatever changes, whatever requirements, whatever anybody gets cut, anything. We'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah. Also real quick, this guy, he was also Sporting News Executive of the Year, which was pretty cool. Everybody's seeing what's going on over there in Buffalo and how they're getting better. So congratulations to these guys. Let's see if McDermott gets Coach of the Year. I don't think so now because, Andy Reid only lost really one game.
He got our coach this game.
It's going to be tough. Again, we'll talk next week. We might have a half-hour show. Not sure. Yeah. We'll check out it because, who knows with the timing and everything. We'll recap the Super Bowl, I guess, and whatever other news is
going quiet with the news and everything. So,
yeah. So, to everybody, thanks for checking in, tuning in, the comments. Thanks for supporting us and watching us. But don't worry, we're not going nowhere. We're just cutting the show maybe shorter. That's it. Until
we're still gonna give you news, whether it's Buffalo or not. We'll still keep y'all posted on what's going on around the NFL.
Yep. So we're going to say adios.
Great season.
Great season.
Good season, man.
Keep it fancy. Pinkies up. This is for all the haters. Tastes better. Let's go, Tom Brady. I'm rooting for Tampa. I can't root for Kansas City. I rooted for Andy Reid.
We'll talk about it next week. We'll talk about it next week, and we're going to break down who you want and why, because I don't even want to get into it right now because we got to get out of here.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Adios. Nos vemos, Viva los Bills. Go Buffalo. Hey, anybody out there, any players, send them our way.